Welcome, and today I'm reviewing 4 movies that are leaving the Criterion Channel streaming service soon at the end of May. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And the first recommendation I have is The Mountains Are a Dream That Call to Me. This is a 2020 film about an older woman who's dealing with some grief in her life, and she goes on a long hike in the Himalayan mountains, and this young man who's local to the area and on his way to another job meets with her and kind of helps her through that process, because while she is in shape, it's a little bit difficult for her to navigate the terrain. This is a slow-moving film. This is a film that's meant to emulate in some ways hiking, from what I can tell. And you'll feel like that because it feels like being on a hike that requires some patience. This is a movie more about shots of nature and the experience of what it feels like to go up a mountain. So if you're a hiker and you're into a slow burn with something like that, I think you may like it. I would avoid this one if you want something more fast-paced and if you have no interest in nature or hiking. The second recommendation that I have for you is the Sofia Coppola Virgin Suicide movie. And this one stars James Woods and Kathleen Turner and Kirsten Dunst in a young role. And it's about this family that have a group of girls, very religious, very tight, structured family who does not allow them to do much. And as a result, the whole movie is this story of how this 70s family's repression has caused these girls to ultimately commit suicide. And we know that very early on, so that's not really a spoiler. I think that this movie is going to appeal to anyone who already likes her work. I like Lost in Translation a little bit better. But this has some great cinematography, some wonderful shots of suburban life at that time. Terrific performances, James Woods being about as likable as he's ever been for what that's worth. And there's a really cool scene that has to do with prom in here. And I think that parents would benefit to kind of see this and how not to be overbearing and to cause difficulties that are unnecessary in your family. I would definitely check that one out if you've never seen it. You know, another one that I just watched today, and I didn't realize it was on the channel, so I wanted to catch it before it left, was 2016's animated Japanese movie, Your Name. And this has to be one of the premier beautiful animated pictures. And this is about 2 characters who switch and swap places. But it's a little bit more to it than that. So Mitsuha and Taki, you know, teenager, girl, boy, they wake up and one's the other and the other's, you know, they're a little switcheroo there. And it's a believable kind of a scenario because one is a waiter now, and I've never been a waiter before. Now I've got to try to be a waiter. And I've never been, you know, anatomy-wise, I've never been a woman, you know, is what happens here in this. And that part starts as this funny comedy that's still really visually appealing with just all kinds of interesting shots, even something like fruit in a restaurant. It looks beautiful in this. But as it goes along, we find out that something has happened with a comet and something to do with astronomy, and then this has implications for lots of characters within the story. And this becomes something much more deeply philosophical and poignant and beautiful to watch unfold between these 2 characters. And at about the 1 hour mark, there is a fantastic bit of animation that's almost as creative. Like I was thinking of something like Fantasia, where you really just don't even know how the animators came up with this. So definitely watch this. I will say I was watching this with the Japanese subtitles. There is an English dubbed version, but there were times I wasn't paying attention to the story because the visuals were so striking that I almost couldn't. So I'll be happy to give that one a watch again. And finally, my favorite of these movies, and I actually have a framed poster that I keep in my room, is the original 1957 3:10 to Yuma, which is about a cattle rancher who more or less ends up getting the job of taking a captured outlaw to a train to be tried in Yuma. And it is very dangerous for him to do this. This is a gorgeously shot Western. It's psychologically sort of a character study. It's not a shoot 'em up. This is the kind of Western that I prefer, that I really like to recommend quite a bit on this channel. And Glenn Ford as this outlaw is probably, among the most charismatic outlaws I've seen on film, but I love my poster of it. Just with the train at the very bottom and watching these two work together. Of course, Van Heflin here, I believe, was in the original Shane. He was probably Joe Sterrett in that one. But if you're a fan of Westerns, you have to see it. Strangely enough, I've never actually made it through the remake. I don't know, I just never have. So let me know what you think of any of these that you haven't seen below. I hope you'll check one or two of them out before these go off the channel, and we'll see you next time on Cody in the Cinema.